When the earthquake occurred, my husband personally pushed me toward the falling beams in order to save Yuri. I was hit on the head and died under the rocks. But he looked at me coldly. Yuri, don't play dead. When I didn't answer, he sneered, turned around and told the rescuers that everyone had escaped safely. He said, "You want to die? Then I will help you." Yuri, stop pretending. Now that you're awake, I'll act like nothing happened. Joanne stood up, looking down at me coldly. It's just a few rocks, right? You've got thick skin, a little hit like this won't kill you. Is it really that big of a deal? His tone grew more impatient, but I was pinned under the rubble and couldn't even speak. I tasted blood in my throat, my nose was full of dust, and I could barely keep my eyes open. His face was streaked with blood, too. I lifted my head with difficulty. Help me, please, help me. I want to live. I'm not ready to die yet. Help me. Joanne, help me. Joanne hesitated for a moment, just about to move, when suddenly Chloe cried out in pain. Ah. Without a second glance at me, Joanne turned and rushed to Chloe, visibly anxious. Joanne, it hurts. Her ankle was swollen. I looked over at them with difficulty, only to hear Joanne's voice, full of concern. Why didn't you tell me you were this hurt? I'll carry you. He scooped Chloe up in his arms like she was something precious. Startled, Chloe clung to his neck. I'm okay. I was just worried something might have happened to Yuri. Why isn't Yuri getting up yet? I saw her get hit in the face with a rock. Chloe quickly covered her mouth as if she'd said too much, then added, I'm sorry, Yuri, I didn't mean to call you out. But risking your life to fool Joanne like that, it's really wrong. Joanne's face darkened suddenly. You really don't know how to repent. With that, he strode away, holding Chloe, completely ignoring that I was in so much pain I could barely breathe. Joanne, we've been together for so many years, and you know how much I care about my appearance. How could I possibly ruin my own face? I used all my strength to grab his ankle. Help me, please. Disgusting. If you want to die, then hurry up and die. He kicked my hand away without a second thought and walked off. Please. I watched his unyielding back as blood kept spilling from my mouth. He never looked back, not once. Joanne, can't you really see how huge the stone is on top of me? Or that my blood has soaked the ground so much it's turned black? No, it's not that you can't see it. You just don't care. But I still want to live. My child has only been in my belly for less than 2 months and hasn't felt a mother's love yet. But I never even got the chance to show them this world. I'm dead. Before I died, everything from the past flashed before me like a movie. I thought about my life, about all the mistakes. I should never have fallen in love with Joanne. I shouldn't have. Then my child wouldn't have died with me. Joanne, Chloe, and I grew up together as friends. I had a crush on Joanne, but they were in love with each other. When I finally decided to go abroad and let him go, Chloe came to me. She cried, begging me to let her have the chance to study abroad instead. To make it happen, she chose to give up Joanne. And I, for the sake of Joanne and my friendship with Chloe, gave up my own chance to go abroad. After she left, Joanne was devastated, and I was just being a friend, comforting him, staying by his side. I never expected he would end up with me. But then he confessed to me. He said he'd fallen in love with me. He proposed. I thought, finally, I'd earned my happiness. But 3 months ago, Chloe came back and claimed I was the one who forced her to leave. How absurd. Joanne actually believed that pathetic lie. There's someone here. My memories were abruptly interrupted by a rescuer's shout. Just as they were about to rush over, Joanne stopped them. He frowned slightly. She's faking it. She's not hurt, I checked. Oh. My soul hovered in front of Joanne, and I couldn't help but smile as I watched him lie with such ease. I was smiling, but tears streamed down my face. If he had really checked, maybe my child and I would still have a chance to survive. I looked at his face, the one I had loved for so many years, and in that moment, I felt sick. The rescuer paused for a moment before shouting angrily, she's been crushed under all those rocks, with only her head sticking out. You call that uninjured? He rushed toward my body, and within seconds, the medical staff exclaimed, she's lost too much blood, and her vital signs are weak. We need to get her to the hospital immediately. Hurry! Everyone, come and help. I saw Joanne hesitate. Panic flashed across his face, and just as he was about to turn around, Chloe sighed. Yuri's such a good actress. That's how she tricked me into leaving in the first place. In that moment, Joanne's panic morphed into anger. I hope she's really dead. Unlucky. My soul is always with Joanne. I watched him curse me all the way, yet he was so gentle with Chloe. He personally administered her medicine, rubbing her swollen ankle with the reverence of a saint. Joanne, I'm fine. Don't worry. Chloe smiled and acted sweetly, but I'm really worried about Yuri. Joanne scoffed. It's all Yuri's fault. If she had blocked that rock for you sooner, maybe you wouldn't have been hurt. Hearing this made my heart ache. Just then, Joanne's phone rang. Hello, Mr. Joanne. Are you a relative of Yuri? The voice on the other end said. Ms. Yuri has passed away after failed rescue efforts. Please come to Civic Hospital to collect her body. Here we go again. What? The caller sounded confused. Before she could say anything else, Joanne hung up, throwing the phone onto the sofa in anger. She's really sick. Joanne cursed. She's been putting on a show for me. I must have spoiled her over the past 2 years. Chloe's expression changed slightly as she softly comforted him. Yuri did everything to be with you. Maybe she feels threatened because I'm here. It's my fault for making her feel uncomfortable. I need to apologize and ask her to come back. Tears were welling in her eyes as she spoke. Joanne quickly hugged her. It's not your fault. She's the one who should leave. I watched them embrace, seeing Joanne hold back the urge to kiss Chloe on the forehead. I also noticed the cell phone on the sofa, flashing continuously. I'm just a soul. But why does it hurt so much? The pain is overwhelming, as if my soul is about to shatter. After comforting Chloe, a news report suddenly came on TV. At 11 p.m. today, a magnitude 4 earthquake struck Linden City. A pregnant woman died after failed rescue efforts. The pregnant woman. There was only one death in the magnitude 4 earthquake, and it was due to excessive blood loss. As reporters covered the incident, they expressed their condolences. Chloe and Joanne watched the report intently. Perhaps it was the familiar scene or the clothes that jolted Joanne. I noticed a flicker of shock and worry on his face. Could he be worried about me too? I closed my eyes slightly, feeling absurd. How could he be worried about me? I was afraid he would rejoice at the sight of my death. Not her. Joanne seemed momentarily dazed before picking up his phone, but just as he was about to dial, he hesitated. It's not her. She's not pregnant. I can't let a woman like her have my child. She doesn't deserve it. Besides, it's impossible for someone like her to die.